All right, so what I'm attempting to do here is create a video project. This is on my wife's honey-do list. We just built this home a couple of years ago, and she saw something in a magazine she wanted to imitate. She reads a lot, gets all these ideas. I got to go to work. So what we have here is I'm going to build an extended patio. Let me turn the camera around here. All right, got to turn the camera off to turn it around. So anyway, I took all these fieldstones from the property. We had tons of stones left over, as you can see, in building our house. And I created this wall here. Stacked them all up. So what we're trying to do here is she wants a lower patio, and we have a lot of flagstones left over from doing our sidewalk, so I'm going to cut some steps in here. I'm going to fill in this area here, and I am working on creating a hearth, a fireplace. I'll show you an example of one that I built earlier last year, and we're going to do something similar to that here. So what I have done, I'm going to fill this grade up to the top of the stone here. So what I've done is I've poured a foundation, 3.5-inch concrete slab on the level down there, and I'm building up a foundation wall that will be below ground level to prevent the fireplace from heaving and cracking over the winter time, because we get a lot of frost here in New York. So those stones represent approximately the height of the four corners. They're not cemented in yet. I'm still working on that. Then I will take my form. Then I'm going to fill this in with rubble and earth, tamp it down so that it's level to the top of this foundation wall. Then I'll set my concrete form on top of that, level it off, and I'll pour the hearth foundation, after which I will be able to build the fireplace. Once I get that foundation poured, I'm going to backfill in all this. I'm going to lay the flagstones, and I will show you what I'm attempting to do. Let me go get another video here. So in the woods behind the house, I have my little area set up here. This is my go-to place, and I use fieldstones to create this fire pit. Never mind the garbage that's in it. So I started out with just a circle of stones to burn brush in, and then I thought, wouldn't it be great if I went ahead and built a fireplace? And I thought, well, it would be great if the fireplace had an oven. So I created that. As you can see, the fireplace is there. The heat from the fire comes up through the flue in the back. I have a wooden door that I put in here to close this when I want to bake something in the oven. And this is the flue for the convection. I cover the top with something so that the heat comes up over the product I'm baking and out through here. And then I took some old grills that I had. I created two different level grills. And then this here is called a rocket stove. And you can feed it with firewood down below or drop it into the top. That's good for boiling water, frying things, whatever you may do. So that is my outdoor hearth. Let me back up a little more. You can see the whole thing. So we're going to do something similar to that up on the patio. It's not going to have the fire ring. It's going to just have a fireplace. It won't have an oven. Just be a hearth. I took a lot of bottles. There were a lot of glass bottles on the property. When I cleaned up, I put some in the fireplace as lights, to serve as lights when the fire is going inside. So you can see that fireplace. So she really liked this, but she didn't like it in the woods. She didn't like to have to go in the woods to have a fire. So she wants me to do something like this up on the patio near the house. So that's what we're working to create. So I had a lot of flagstone left over from doing a flagstone sidewalk and some fill. I'll take that fill, use that fill on the patio I'm creating. And I'll use these limestones, these flags, to create a nice level environment to sit on. And while I'm thinking of it, let me show you some of my other projects that I've created. So this is my garden fence. I used wood from the woods, cleared the woods out to make my grove, and took the timber to create my garden. It's starting to rain, but we'll just do this quickly. Here's how you open the gate inside. It's late May. Things are starting to come. All right. And then off in the distance, you can see my tower that I built to look out over my property, my wetlands. It's a 14-foot tower that I created out of timber from my land. All right. So here's where we are now with all this project. We have completed the box, as you can see there. And I've got that to the height I want. I will pour the slab on top of this. I'm going to fill this with rubble and dirt, tamp it down, put my form, which is over there on the ground, on top, level it off, and then pour the concrete. And then the hearth pad will be complete. The hearth pad will be complete. Once I do that, then I will take and finish backfilling this in. In fact, I will backfill this in up to this point, then put the form on, and then pour it, and then start putting the flags in. Begin the flags. So that's where we are right now in our project. Just take a walk around. You can see the walls. I pulled all these walls off of my property with these guns, a pick, a shovel, and a wheelbarrow, and set this in place. Not bad for an old geezer. All right, so I filled it up about halfway, or a third of the way, with rubble and loose stone. I left one small drain hole at the bottom. I will backfill this now with earth, tamp it down as a support for the hearth foundation. I put the stone and gravel in just in case any water gets in there. It can drain itself out rather than cause a frost heave to the foundation of the fireplace. Okay, so here we are ready to start the next phase of our fireplace. I've brought some fill in where the patio is going to be. I've made my foundation, as you saw before, and now I have the form here ready to pour the concrete. It's all leveled off, it's in place. I got some rebar in there, some steel, which I'll be putting in there to help keep the concrete strong. And so now let's mix some cement. All right, so the final step, or near final step, after you make your pour, is to take a board, screed off the cement, let that set a little bit, and then trowel it down smooth. All right, we got her poured. We're letting it sit up to cure, and as it cures, we're bringing it to a trowel finish. This will be the foundation, hearth and foundation to build the fire pit place on. All right, so I'm getting ready for the next step. I created this box here, basically to shape the inside of the fire pit. So it'll, as I build the stones up around the outside edges of it, that'll help me to keep the contour correct and where I need it to be on the inside of the fire pit. And I found this nice flat stone out in the field. It's almost 36 inches across. Perfect size to place on top of the opening of the roof of the fireplace. I'll put that right up. Put that right up here once I get the wall built. All right, so here's where we are up to date. I have built up the front. I had a large fieldstone here, which I use on the top. I put steel underneath to help give it additional support. You can see the rebar in there. I'm building up a lintel here. This will be the mantelpiece. I will construct it across the top, keeping everything level. Build it up that way. This piece will go in there. I'm beginning to form the hole. I will continue to build stones in here and here until the hole gets narrow and narrow, and then I'll start to build the chimney up. So that's where we are at this point. Let's do a quick walk around. Also very important to use some kind of water resistant gloves when you're working, hand troweling. The lye in the cement will burn your hands. It'll burn the skin right off your hands. So you got to cover up your hands. All right. So that's where we are now so far. Today I'm going to work at building this up, filling it in, getting it where I need it to go. All right, so the next step in my project is to create this box, which will represent the flue, the chimney going up. The chimney will be built up from that. What I have to do is put this box in here. All right, so I got that propped up in the center of the hole there. Now I can pour cement in here in this pocket and build some small rocks out. The chimney flue will be a box that sets up on top of this and rises up. But this will let me build in here and smaller stones, cement it in. When it's all done, I just drop this box away, pull the support out from under it, drop it away, and then I have some sort of finish in there for the smoke to come up through the chimney. You can see it's just propped up in there. All right, so let's see where we are today here. I've poured cement into the form, the conical shaped form that will shape up the flue. You'll see that here. And I have filled in this area here, built it in with rocks. So the next step here will be to set the flue form in place, which is this box here. So I've created this box. Whoop, tripping over everything. So I've created this box to build the flue around. I put bridging blocks here in the top and in the middle. And the way I've constructed this is that when it's all finished, hopefully the plan is to knock the bridging blocks out through and then turn the forms in. These should flip in, and I could be able to pull them out that way. Worst case scenarios, I'll just have to burn out, but I think I can build the flue this way. Anyway, that's the plan. So I'm going to set the flue box in place and level it up with a level. Then I can start building around the foundation of it. Get enough cement and stone in there and let it set and harden. Once I let it set and harden, and I've got it vertical, I should be able to finish with no problem. All right, so that's where we stand so far. All right, so we got the flue box set in place here. I'll level it with a post level. Shake it all up. Looking good. Looking good so far. So I'll build the chimney up, rocks around that. In a day or two, once I'm sure that my cement flue form is formed, I'll pull these boards out, I'll pull the support out, and I'll knock out that cone box that I built to direct the flue, the fire, the heat and gas and the fire up into the flue. And the shape of the side walls of that flue box will help direct the smoke and gas up into the flue. All right, so here's how we stand so far. I pulled out the form for the flue inside, which you can now see. That slanted shape directs the flue. The wooden form is up in there. And here's the wooden form now. I just got a little bit more to do to bring the stones up to the top. How we stand so far. It's looking pretty close to finish here. I've knocked out the expansion blocks that held the flue form together. We'll go up here and look down. You can see the flue form there. So the plan here is to push these around, push these out, and drop them down, pull them out. That's how it looks. All right. So here's a look at the finished product, how things stand today. right. So we finally have this project finished. Just do a quick look around here and see all that we did. Built a set of stairs coming down. Use the flagstone patio. Another set of stairs going down. Fireplace complete.